So if you're not careful in Dragon's Dogma 2, you can actually nuke an entire city by accident, and this is done by something called Dragon's Plague. Basically, Dragon's Plague is a plague that your pawns can get either from fighting other drakes or if they come in contact with other infected pawns. So the way you know if your pawns have it is a giant prompt will appear the first time that one of your pawns gets it that explains what it is, and it'll come up, but you can easily skip past it or whatever, so we'll go through it today and how to avoid it as well. So once a pawn has these symptoms, you know it has it. Their eyes will pulse and glow red. They will pulse every 4 seconds. If they take off their helms, you can see their eyes, so you can know whether they're pulsing and whether they're red. And this effect does not show up while you're in the rift, so you have to make sure to pull them out of the rift to be able to see if they have it. And also, if they're idle for a few seconds and they hold their head in pain, this means that they also have it. And then finally, if you issue a command and they disobey or refuse to follow it, they'll have like a voice line, like they'll comment the lines of "Don't tell me what to do" or something. That way you know they have it as well. These aren't the most obvious, which isn't great, especially considering what it does. But basically, what it does is eventually, if you allow them to be infected for long enough, it will nuke a town that you sleep in. So if you sleep in a town after one of your pawns has been infected for long enough, you'll get like a 5-second cutscene when waking up, and it'll show the pawn turning evil. And basically, the entire town will be razed and all the NPCs will be killed. And you can use wake stones to revive the NPCs that were killed in the town, but if you're not prepared, this could really mess up your game progress and wipe out a bunch of quest lines as well. So this is definitely something that you want to be careful about. Some people can reach like level 30 or 40 and never even see it, and other people would get it like level 20 and it wiped out some people's like big towns. So this is a big issue, and you definitely want to be aware of it and try to prevent it. So the way you prevent it is if a pawn you hire has it and you can't cure them, so you should just kick them from your party and send them back to the rift. If your main pawn has it, basically you need to throw them either into the nearest body of water where the brine will kill them, or just kill. Really, I'm pretty sure any way of killing them will work. And basically, when you rehire them or resummon them from the rift, they will be cured. And from what I've heard, I've done a lot of reading on this. There is no cure in the game that I am aware of, and I know people are searching for them, but really, it just seems you got to kill any pawns that get it. And additionally, if you're really worried, you can focus on doing most of your sleeping in camps instead of big cities. But yeah, especially careful when sleeping in inns in cities like Fernworth. And finally, if you are going to sleep in a big city and you're worried about it, and like you've had the prompt show up, you can always kill all of the pawns that you have and then sleep. So make sure that you're the only one sleeping in the inn, and that should keep you safe from nuking an entire city. But yeah, so that's the rundown on Dragon's Plague. It's pretty awful. I think it's a pretty shit game mechanic, if I'm going to be awful. But basically, I think it's a poorly implemented game mechanic, especially because it's just a cutscene. It's not like you can prevent it once it happens. There's no direct way to stop it. It's not like it spawns in like a dragon that you then fight or something. It's especially crazy because it just wipes out an entire town with all its NPCs, and it can mess up quest lines as well. And there's no save file, and it saves when this happens, so it's not like you can go back because you're sleeping at an inn, which creates the autosave. So there's no way to go back after this happens. It just happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think there are some like save manager mods or something that you can use, or like if you're on Xbox or PS5, you can use like the cloud save to go back. So there are some workarounds with the saves. But yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of immersive, because you have to murder your own pawn to make sure that it's safe to sleep, which it's just like you're not going to murder your own pawn if you're actually role playing. So it's also like antisocial as well, because it makes you mistrustful of pawns that you hire from other people, because you're never going to know, and you always have to do the stupid little mini game of checking to make sure that they don't have the Dragon's Plague. So I think it's just not really necessary, and it just adds extra micromanagement that isn't really fun. And I think they need to make the signs of Dragon Plague a lot more obvious, because especially if you don't know what it is right now and you don't watch this video, you could easily just not understand that it's going to nuke an entire town. And I don't think it's clear in the game either from the tutorial that this can nuke an entire town as well. I'm honestly surprised we didn't hear any of this from reviewers, at least that I heard. And I watched a fair number of reviews, but it could be that they didn't get far enough into the game, or they just didn't run into it because there were less people playing. So it's understandable. But all in all, I think it's a pretty unfun game mechanic, and I hope they do something about it. I sort of doubt they will, but you know, there'll probably be mods that remove it in the coming days as well. And, you know, maybe I'll do a guide on how to install one of those mods in the future. But anyways, I hope y'all found this video helpful. Be careful with this Dragon Plague stuff. It really sounds pretty awful. And yeah, if you found this helpful, feel free to subscribe. We'll have more guides and stuff coming out like this in the coming days. And yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.